All right, well, I got the call from Henry's Radiator. The gas tank for the Blur is done. It turns out it was in better shape than we had originally thought. So it only required a good cleaning, a boil, a hot tank, whatever it is they do. And then a small hole was cut into the bottom of the gas tank to facilitate them being able to remove all the grit and the whatever they used to clean it out with, the detergents or whatever. So we're on our way to go pick that up. I'm gonna talk to Henry when we get there and see if he is okay with kind of giving us a walkthrough on how and what they do when they clean out these gas tanks. Of course, you know, here in West Virginia, people are a little weird when I whip out the old camera. So I guess we'll know in a few seconds if he was okay with it. All right, we're at Henry's Radiator Shop, and we're gonna have a look at the gas tank out of the Fiero. Henry, can you tell us what you did to the tank?
Yes, sir. We took it and we pressure washed the inside and out and flushed it out with some water and took a look at it. First we thought we was going to coat it, but after inspection it was really in pretty good shape. Wasn't much rust. Had a little bit of white galvanized.
That scale-like stuff. What is that that's in there?
I believe that's a galvanized or something they put in the metal.
Okay.
I'm not exactly sure. You do see it fairly.
Yeah, you can't even see it anymore.
And so then, you know, after consulting with the customer, we felt like just a good cleaning, boiling out, flushing would do a good job.
Yeah, definitely saved me a lot of money, and we get to keep the internal baffling.
Right, which is a concern. We could, if we was going to coat that, we'd have to make this thing work well, it would need to have a metal pan constructed.
Really? For the baffling?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'd have to pull the plastic out because our coating's baked, and it would melt.
So it's like a powder coat almost?
Pretty much, yeah. It's kind of like, reminds you of Teflon.
Okay.
And so it don't like dry. Like some of the coatings, you slosh it, let it dry. This don't dry. It takes 300 and I think 40, 50 degrees to cure it. Mm-hmm. And then once it's out of the oven, it's cured. There ain't no like wait time for it to, you know. But with the oven and that plastic pan,
it would melt.
It would melt. It'd just be a big ooze in the bottom.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good.
So to coat it, you'd had to cut it open, manufactured a metal pan, attached it, and weld the top back, sandblast it, coat it. Which if it was in bad shape, needed that, then you know it is what it is.
Right. Yeah. Fair enough. What is it I see up here?
That's a patch. We knock a little hole in it, and that enables us to stand the tank up. And after boiling it out, pressure washing it, any loose debris like that white powder, any little rust particles, just old gas, just dirt, whatever.
Yeah, like all that grit that I got out of there originally.
Well, it's hard to get it out because that neck, if you check, it's a pipe and it actually extends into the tank. So like if you put it up on that end, you're really not draining the tank. It's very hard to drain this tank.
Right, absolutely.
And get
Which is by design.
Right. So we put that in the corner, and then we can stand it up, and even once we've pressure washed, got anything loose, attached loose, then you got this sediment left. And you need to get rid of that, so then we can stand it up and actually work it where that's against the ground, wash it out with a garden hose.
Kind of just gravity.
And just, let it flow. Flush them loose particles out so that it's not in the tank no more.
Did you clean the whole tank? It looks cleaner than when I dropped it off. It looks nice.
Yeah, it's the blowout tub. It goes, it's completely submerged.
What is that?
It's a big tank.
Is that what those big tanks are over there? Can we have a look at those?
Sure. Yeah.
Now this was the first stage that you put it in through?
Well, the first stage would have been just a simple steam genie pressure wash.
Okay.
And a flush, which basically was fill up with water, dump.
Right, because you don't want any gas in there, I'm assuming.
Well, and this actually kills gas. That's why, that little patch you seen, that's soldered with a torch.
I saw that.
So, you got to have that gas stabilized.
Yeah, you don't want anything blowing up on you, do you?
You don't need to lose a head or nothing. So after we do that, then this here is kind of like a cleaner. And it's what really will dissolve that white stuff.
Okay.
Then we just put it in overnight. Then in the morning we get it out. Then also that little hole let you drain this stuff out of it. And then pressure wash it again. Filled up with water, dump that, and then we tilt it and to just take garden hose and rinse and run everything down to that hole. So
Right, so whatever's left, you can
anything
get it
loose
out.
can get out.
That's good.
And,
So it's real thorough,
yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
That's good. What's this tank for?
This is to pressure check big radiators, like,
How big of a radiator are you testing?
well, like that big one right there.
Oh, I guess
That's
you do
a
need a big
radiator, and then that we do bigger stuff than
That's
that.
a radiator there.
As long as surface mines, you know, your surface mines have big earth moving trucks.
So that's probably
equipment.
why you got all this, is because of the mining
Right.
industry around here.
Yeah, I mean, stuff like yours I appreciate. And, you know, if you've lived in West Virginia, you know the mines are wide open or
They're nothing.
or they're non-existent.
Yep. Henry, man, you saved me a lot of money.
No,
I appreciate it. All right, everybody. Well, I received the package from Summit Racing that Brian ordered, and this is for, I probably got really crazy hair right now, but it's hot, so I don't care. All right, where were we? Okay. I received the package from Summit Racing that Brian ordered just the other day. Basically, it's components so we can get the fuel system assembled. So let me show you what we picked up. Picked up a Aeromotive 340 liter per hour stealth pump, E85 compatible. Comes with the little installation kit and all that, all those goodies. So we'll get that bad boy in there. This is the exact same pump that I'm using in my 88, which is also getting case locked. So that's that. I didn't know it. Brian found it on Summit. Apparently, they sell high flow oil, fuel filters. Okie dokie. Need that thing, that's for sure. Got that. These are the 90-degree fittings, I'm guessing for the regulator. Yep, they are. So tiny. -6. Okay, push lock. Push lock's what we're using. The obligatory stickers. They'll go on my air compressor and toolboxes. Lots of fittings. All right. Vibrant Performance push lock fuel lines. This is 3/8, aka -6. And I'm guessing both of them are -6. Yep. And there's the part numbers if you want to replicate what we're doing here. That's our hose. We can put our hose out of the way for now. All right. With all these fittings, a lot of fittings. What we're going to worry about today is getting the fuel pump assembly all set up, get that dropped into the tank. So let's get to work. And if you're wondering, this is the old fuel pump that came out of the Blur. Now, I think I put this in, 1998 or so. This is basically the fuel pump from an 89 Turbo Trans Am picked up at a parts store. This is what we used to fuel the Blur when it was a built 2.8. It had roller rockers, nitrous, all that stuff. And then it was also used when the car had the Cadillac V8 in it, and never hurt for fuel. Now, we did find kind of the upper limits of the fuel system on my turbocharged 88, and that was only at 475 with the wheels. So we're definitely stepping up our game as far as fittings and filter and all that kind of stuff, but we're going to use, like I said, the same 340 liter per hour fuel pump. I think definitely a better fuel filter than what I had on my 88. And you know, the Honda engine shouldn't have as high a fuel demand as the 3800 Turbo did, obviously 2 cylinders less. But we'll see how it works. But again, all this is E85 safe, which is good if we ever plan to go E85 later. But if we did, these lines would have to be replaced. These are the old original fuel lines that come up just below the battery on the Fiero. These would have to be replaced if we were going to run E85, and they're real simple, especially the one at the fuel filter. And I may even go ahead and just start my new line at the fuel filter, and then the return, I can get a fitting to go from, you know, push lock to what looks like, I'm gonna say 5/16 line. So I may end up doing that after all, but anyway, let's get to work. Okay, here we have the stock Fiero fuel pump sending unit, the whole assembly that drops down in the tank. Obviously this goes up and down, gives you your fuel. It's all the way down, you're walking. So yeah, let's get this on. Clean those contacts. Make sure you take the little cap off the end, or you will have no fuel at all. Let's see, they provide these hose clamps, but I think I got something better. Fuel injection hose clamps, way better. Cap off the bottom. Yeah, still use that rubber insulator down there. I like to use nut drivers instead of screwdrivers. No chance of slipping up and stabbing yourself. And socks on. There you go. Complete. Clean. Make sure all the lines are out of the way of anything that's moving. Make sure you have your gasket. I know that seemed like I was doing a whole lot, but what I like to do is to make sure that this ring is centered each one of these teeth that holds this retaining clip down. So that's why you saw me tapping on it back and forth. I like to try to get it centered as best I can. Gas tank complete.